Welcome back to the Thrill Club, Curios and Weirdos. Oh, sorry, he supposed to be there. Before we get started, you guys, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Now, let me give you guys a little recap on what we've been through. So, last time, Thalia showed up to the Thrill Club like about 30 or so minutes late. She was confused, unable to remember where she had been, and she had this like mysterious blood stain on her little sweatshirt. Meanwhile, we had Chandel, the one who promised that she doesn't get mad, she gets even. She never showed up at all. Now, I'm gonna warn you guys ahead of time. This one gets kind of heavy. So please protect your energy and your peace accordingly. Also, while we're reading, I want us to do something different tonight. It's going to get crazy. So pay attention to the clues. That's what I want you guys to do. Okay. Not what you think happened, not who you like, not who you don't like. What has the story actually given us? Okay. Because somewhere in all this foolishness, Mr. Stein leaves them breadcrumbs for us. Okay. So get ready to clench your pearls and grab your magnifying glasses. And let's see what happens next. Okay, Oreo Jr., I'll throw you back there and let's get this thing going. It's Friday. With a startled gasp, Talia stared down at her sleeve. A mysterious reddish brown smudge ran down the white cuff of her sweater. Was it a blood stain? Where did it come from? She blinked her eyes and examined it again. Yeah, girl, where did it come from? Where did blood come from, girl? Did you cut yourself? Rudy asked asked out the open backseat window. I don't think so, she replied uncertainly. Maybe you had a nosebleed, he suggested. I get those sometimes at night when I'm sleeping. I don't even realize until I wake up and the pillow is covered in blood. Oh, girl. Talia cringed at the thought of a bloody pillow. Maybe, she said doubtfully. She hadn't had a nosebleed in years. It's probably just dirt. Girl, what kind of dirt be looking like blood? Like, girl, that's some wishful thinking. It's doing a lot of heavy lifting. Looks like a blood stain, Maura said, narrowing her eyes at the sweatshirt sleeve. Nessa rolled down the passenger window. Can we get going? She asked impatiently. Let's go find Chandel. Before climbing into the car, Thalia pushed the sleeves of the sweatshirt up past her elbow to hide her dirt stains. That way she didn't have to see the blood stains or answer any more questions. Once again, girl, everybody know what you got going on, but okay. Then she lowered herself into the back seat between Mara and Rudy. Seth started the engine of his mother's station wagon and made eye contact with Thalia in the rearview mirror. He seemed to be watching her closely. Here we go, he said, pulling away from the curb. The Thrill Club on patrol. Okay, it's like Paw Patrol, but like Thrill Club. We'll probably find Chandel after driving half a block, Mara said, staring hard out her window. I hope so, Nessa said tensely. It's just so odd that we haven't heard from her. I bet she met some friends and is yakking away, Rudy said. This is the weirdest Thrill Club meeting we've ever had, Seth said, stopping at a four-way sign. Maybe we should just skip the meeting and go for pizza, Rudy suggested, rubbing his stomach. Okay, Rudy. It's been at least an hour since I ate. You got a hell of a metabolism. I'm so jealous, Rudy. Maura laughed. You're such a pig. I am not, Rudy insisted. I'm still growing, that's all. The others remained tensely quiet. Seth guided the car onto Canyon Road past large houses with rolling expanses of yards and 2 and 3 car garages. It isn't even hilly here, he remarked. Why do you think they call it Canyon Road? Probably named after Mr. Canyon, Rudy joked. Where's Chandel? Nessa determined shrilly. I really don't like this. They drove in silence, peering out at the dark houses and lawns rolling by. Even though it was still early, there were few cars on the street and no one walking on the sidewalks. It seemed as if they had just pulled away from Nessa's house when Seth announced, Here we are. He stopped the car in front of a big stone house with a silver Saab and a maroon minivan in the driveway. Dahlia blinked her eyes. Had they already reached Chandel's? I don't like this at all, said Nessa. I was sure we'd run into her on the way. I bet she took the cemetery shortcut, Dahlia suggested. That's the way she and I walked home last week. Nessa twisted in the front seat and looked back at Thalia. I doubt it, she said. The cemetery gives Chandel the creeps. She'd never walk past it by herself. Maybe she ran into someone, suggested Mara. Let's give it a try, Seth said. He turned the car around in front of Chandel's house, drove 2 blocks down Canyon Road, then turned into Fear Street and headed towards the cemetery. If we don't see her, we'll just go back to my house, Nessa said anxiously, staring hard into the darkness. Maybe she got a ride or something. Maybe she's at my house waiting for us. Girl, if she got a ride, wouldn't she have been there a long time ago? Dahlia felt queasy as they approached the cemetery. I don't see her, Nessa said as they cruised past the black iron gate. Hold your breath, Rudy cried, sucking in a deep breath. Rudy, what's your problem? Mara demanded. You have to hold your breath when you pass the cemetery, he said. Otherwise, it's bad luck. Okay. Mara glared at him sternly. That's really dumb. Aren't you worried about Chandel? Dahlia's muscles tensed as she gazed out at the rows of headstones poking up along the sloping road on the other side of the fence. Suddenly, Mara's eyes widened. Hey, stop, she cried. Seth, stop, go back. Seth hit the brakes hard, tossing them all forward. What? What is it? Nessa cried shrilly. Look, Mara pointed. She pushed open her car door and stumbled out. Startled, Thalia watched as she ran along the sidewalk into the grass. Then she pulled herself out the car to follow Mara. They were all running along the cemetery fence now, running breathlessly, following Mara. They stopped when they heard Mara's first scream. No! Mara's cries pierced the heavy silence. And then she began to wail, no, no, please, no. Oh, Lord, y'all. What y'all think she's screaming about? What y'all think she said?
Possibly
anything. Okay, it might be a dead raccoon. Okay, that was chapter 8. We're on to chapter 9. No! Nessa's cry sounded more like an animal howl. Nessa, what? Seth uttered, running up to her. Thalia lagged behind, her heart pounding. She didn't want to see why Nessa was shrieking. She didn't want to see. By the time Thalia caught up with the others, Nessa was sobbing loudly in Rudy's arms. Thalia stepped into the wet grass, forcing herself to stare at the familiar human shape stretched out on the ground. Oh no, she thought. Please no. Not Chandel. Not my friend Chandel. Call an ambulance, Mara shrieked wildly. Find a phone. Someone call an ambulance. Chandel lay sprawled face down in the grass, her arms wide as if she was hugging the ground. Thalia saw or stared at the white letters on the back of her teen track jacket. They spelled tigers. Self squatted beside Chandel and squeezed her wrist, searching for a pulse. Chandel's arms hung limply when he lifted it off the ground. Self let out a loud cry as he let the hand drop. He raised his eyes to the others. She's unalive, he said. Whew. Mara uttered a shrill cry. Nessa sobbed loudly. Rudy was breathing hard, his chest heaving. Look at her neck, Mara stammered, pointing in horror. It's been cut. Someone cut her. Someone cut her. Thalia leapt back from Chandel's body as if someone had shoved her. A wave of nausea swept up from her stomach. She opened her mouth to scream, but no sound came out. Her feet made a wet, squishy sound as she moved them on the sidewalk. Thalia stared down. Then she screamed, long and loud. Her new white sneakers were soaked with blood. Let's take a moment, honey. R.I.P. to Chandel, honey. R.I.P. She was the realest character in the book. She kept it funky with everybody, and she didn't get mad. She got even. R.I.P. to our sis. The next half an hour passed in a blur of flashing red and blue police and ambulance lights. Thalia couldn't seem to stop crying. Any thought of Chandel, her laughter, the way her mouth curled when she smiled, brought fresh tears flooding back into her eyes. How could this happen, she asked herself. What kind of monster would cut someone's throat? The ambulance pulled away. Thalia felt Seth's hand fall softly into her shoulders. When she turned, he was gazing at her with sad, understanding eyes. The police want us all to come down to the station, he told her. Why? Girl, what you mean, why? Didn't y'all just find your friend in the cemetery unalive? Like, girl, that's part of the protocol now. She asked, trying to control her sobs. They want to ask us a few questions. Duh. No, I'm kidding. They want to ask us a few questions, he said. They're just gathering information about Chandel. Thalia nodded. I've got to pull myself together, she told herself. They're calling our parents, Self continued. They'll meet us at the police station. Police station? I'm just a teenager, Thalia thought. Why would I be at a police station? Girl, didn't we just go over the whys of all of this? Like, get it together, ma'am. Get it together. My friend was unalived. The words cut through her, sharp as a knife. I have to go to the police station because my friend was unalived. Thalia followed Seth across the street to the station wagon. Mara, Rudy, and Nessa were waiting in the back seats, their faces pale and shrieked with tears. Seth started the engine, and they pulled away from the curve to follow a police cruiser with flashing lights. No one spoke until they turned into the lot behind the Shady Side police station. It is so strange, Nessa said, her voice trembling. Chandel, the cemetery, it's all so much like Thalia's last horror story. I know, agreed Mara with a shudder. It's really creepy. Girl, la la la. It's real creepy. Such an awful coincidence, Rudy said, shaking his head sadly. Thalia squirmed uncomfortably in the passenger seat, upset by the drift of conversation. She had the impulse to confess that Seth had written the story for her, but she stopped herself. Why you stop yourself, sis? Is it pride? Why you stop? Why you ain't gonna tell the truth and shame the devil, honey? Why? Chandel's unalive, she thought. That's the only thing that matters. Thalia's legs felt shaky and weak as she and her friends climbed out of the car. A tall police officer with blonde hair and a mustache held open the station wagon door. The police station was bright and modern looking. Thalia shielded her eyes, waiting for them to adjust to the bright fluorescent lights. Then she saw her parents waiting by the front desk, along with Seth's mother and Mara's dad. She immediately burst into tears. Yeah, this dramatic, child. 2 hours later, Seth drove Thalia home from the station, following her parents' car. Thalia's mother and father had spoken to Chandel's parents and were very shaken. Girl, shaken is probably an understatement. They just unexpectedly lost their teenage daughter. That is wild. That is insane. That's sad. Seth volunteered to drive Thalia home so that he and she could be alone to talk, but Thalia had been unable to utter a word. Seth pulled up in front of Thalia's house. They watched her parents disappear into the house. He turned off the engine and reached across the front seat to take her hand. Will you be okay? Seth asked her. I think so, Thalia replied in a weak voice. She felt guilty for the distance she had put between Seth and herself in the past few days. He had been so wonderful all evening, so calm and supportive. Thanks for being so helpful, she said to him. It's been a horrible night. He nodded. A choked sob escaped his throat. Horrible, he said. I hated answering all of those questions, Thalia said. I kept thinking the police were trying to accuse me of something. Girl, do you think they knew about that blood stain on your sleeve? Me too, Seth confessed. I hated the way they kept repeating the same questions. Thalia nodded. She felt a cold chill run down her back. The officer kept asking if Chandel had any enemies. Girl, she a teenager. If anyone had a grudge against Chandel, again, I mean, she ain't even paying her own bills yet. Really? If anyone had ever threatened Chandel, Thalia wouldn't have been able to take it if her parents hadn't been there to help her out. Thalia could see how careful the detective had been with his questions, knowing that Thalia's mother was a lawyer. Okay, girl, you set up. You good to go. I wish Mara had mentioned that horror story you wrote for me. I like Mara. Mara keeps it real, honey. I like her. Thalia confessed. I think that's why they questioned me for so long. Did you tell them I wrote it? Seth asked. He had turned his face away from Thalia to stare out the windshield. I wanted to, but my pride got in the way. Don't get it. She didn't say all that. She just said, I wanted to, she said. But it seemed more trouble than it was worth. Do you think I should have? It really doesn't matter, Seth said. It wasn't your story that unalived Chandel. It was a real person with a real knife. The police will understand that. Who unalived her? The question forced its way into Thalia's mind. Who unalived her? Someone Chandel knew? A total stranger? Someone in the thrill club? No! She started to cry again. Seth slid across the front and wrapped his arms around her. Don't even think about that horror story, he whispered. Oh, let me whisper it. Don't even think about that horror story. He whispered. Don't even think about it. It was a stupid coincidence. But was it, Seth? Was it a stupid coincidence? Thalia wiped the tears from her eyes and nodded. Seth had been so strong all evening, so kind. She kissed him goodnight and ran her fingers through his wavy hair. I better go in, she told him. My parents are waiting for me. Okay, he said. But before Thalia could open the car door, Seth wrapped his arms around her once again and pressed his mouth to hers. Okay. At first, his lips were comforting and familiar, but then they became more passionate. She quickly warmed to his kiss. I mean, is this really an appropriate time to be making out? Like, didn't we just find our friend's body in the cemetery and then it got questioned by the police? I don't know if I would feel like making out. Would y'all? Would y'all feel like making out, Scott? Would you feel like making out after all that?
Probably not.
Mm, especially not with passion. But let's keep going. He ended the kiss suddenly. Then he reached past her to open the door. Call me tomorrow, he whispered. Feeling confused and shaky, which I kind of feel too, because I don't even know what that kiss was. It was just random, especially in light of the events we're going through. Dahlia climbed out. She shut the car door and walked slowly across the line and up the front stairs. Dahlia watched Seth drive away before she entered the house. Her parents stood tensely in the living room, waiting for her. Dahlia could see that her mother had been crying for Chandel too. I mean, this is a sad thing. Are you okay? Her father asked, crossing the room to her. I think so, she said uncertainly. Her mother gasped as she glanced Thalia's blood soaked sneakers. Why don't you go change into your pajamas? She suggested. When you come back down, I'll make some hot chocolate and we can talk. Dahlia sighed wearily. Okay, she agreed. She trudged up to her room and kicked off her sneakers without touching them. Girl, you walked all the way through the house with those sneakers on, girl. With all that blood on it, girl. Okay, sorry. Let me get back to the story. Then she crossed the room to her dresser. She pulled open the middle drawer and reached for a nightgown. Instead, she felt something cold, sharp, and wet. Huh? She blinked, then gasped for breath as all the air seemed to leave her body. Her chest heaved. The room tilted and swayed around her. She stared into the dresser, stared at a knife, stared at a knife blade covered with thick, sticky blood.
Wow.
And so the plot thickens, y'all. Okay, y'all. Okay. Woosah, baby. Woosah. Let's do a little recap real quick, okay?
Okay.
So Chandel is unalived. R.I.P. R.I.P. to our good sis. They find her near the Fear Street Cemetery with her throat cut, the exact way she was unalived in the story Thalia told the Thrill Club. Everybody gets taken in for questioning, which is standard procedure. But Thalia gets questioned longer because she still cannot explain why she was late or where that missing time went. Then Seth takes her home. When Thalia gets ready for bed, she opens that dresser drawer and finds a bloody knife. Now hold up. Wait a minute, y'all. Because if we are following the clues, we currently have two pretty big ones pointing right at our girl Thalia, right? First, she showed up with blood on her sweatshirt. Remember, she had all that blood and she was like, "Oh, it's dirt," and couldn't explain where she had been. And now there's a bloody knife in her dresser. It's looking real bad out here in these streets for our homegirl Thalia. But because we're gonna play devil's advocate here, does it prove anything? Because someone could have put the knife there, and we still don't know what happened during Thalia's missing time. So I want you guys to tell me: do you think the story is actually telling us that Thalia unalived Chandel, or do you think somebody else is trying to make it very hard on us and point to Thalia as unaliving her? And if you think she's been set up, who do you think is setting her up? Because right now we have clues, but we don't yet have an explanation. But let me know what you guys think. Scott, what do you think? Do you think it's Thalia? What do you think?
Well, the clues point you there. And she does have that missing time that's unexplainable, even if someone else did set her up. But you could look at, for people who are setting her up, it could be Seth. He's the one that wrote the story.
And he have a weird makeout sessions.
Yeah, he's acting weird. Maybe it's even, I think it's Mara, who's his ex, lives next door. Maybe
She's
jealous.
spying.
And she's trying to set her up.
She's spying. Mm-hmm.
So right now, I guess those are my
Okay.
three suspects. But it could be anybody else. It could be overlooking something.
Period. Yeah, it could be anything. We in the beginning parts of this story, guys. It's a roller coaster, baby. But you guys put in the comment section what your thoughts are, because we will be interested to know. But with that, curios, we're going to end it here. And before I end it, I'm going to just let you guys know. So we had like a weird family emergency. That's why we weren't here Sunday. And we probably won't be doing tomorrow's live or Sunday's live, unfortunately. But we'll be back during the week. So next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think Thursday, we're going to try to give you guys a live to make up for all the missing time. But we'll let you know. So with that, we're going to end this live here, unfortunately, for the weekend. I hate to leave you guys on a cliffhanger, but what a cliffhanger to leave you on. Anyway, but with that, guys, we are going to bid you guys adieu. So with that, as always, guys, we have so much fun and enjoy our time with you guys, and hopefully you guys enjoy your time with us as well. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, live shorts, all that good stuff, because this book club is not just about Oreo Jr., Scott, and myself. It is about all of us coming together and exploring some books together. But with that, guys, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are, even in the cemetery, finding our friend's body, unfortunately, there, to wherever you guys are, peace and love and happiness. And we'll see you guys next week, more than likely Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even a little Thursday. But until then, guys, I hope you guys have the best weekend ever. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.